This is the Life by Design with Weiss podcast, Thursday mini mental health episode number 14. Permission to stand down. You don't have to hold it all up anymore. Welcome back to the Life by Design with Weiss podcast. That's me. I'm a nurse practitioner, dual board certified, and an author, and someone who has spent a lot of years in high stress environments and also learning what it means to come out of those high stress environments. Before we begin, take a deep breath. Wherever you are right now, whether you're driving or sitting, walking, or just trying to get through your day, just pause for a moment. You don't have to rush through this. You don't have to hold everything up right now. And I want to say this too, especially if you're new. This is not a polished podcast, ever. I make a lot of mistakes, actually, and when I'm at home, dogs might bark and cats may wander, and I stumble over words often, and I might pause to take a drink of my coffee, like now. And honestly, the great thing about a podcast is you don't have to have a fancy studio or expensive equipment like I have purchased and do not use and haven't even learned how to yet. But I will. All you need is your smartphone, your voice, and a message to share with the world. And that can be anywhere. Like today, from the coffee shop parking lot on my way to pick up my grandsons during spring break. So, there will be cars going behind me and sounds, and that's okay because the message is still solid, it's still there. But this is real life. And I also want this to feel like a space where you can just show up as you are too. So, this is a new series. Today we're talking about permission to stand down. I've been wanting to do this for a while now. It's, how do I say this? If you are someone who has spent years being the strong one, the one who shows up, the one who handles things, the one who just keeps going, this is for you. So I talk to a lot of people who've learned to function at a very high level in very high stress environments, and I am one of those. Law enforcement, first responders, medical professionals, military, caregivers, leaders, high achievers. What they all tend to have in common is this: they don't stop. They don't stop to process. They don't stop to feel. They don't stop to ask if someone or something is catching up with them. Not someone, just something. Because for a long time, they couldn't. They didn't have the time to. They just had to keep moving forward. And when you're in those kinds of environments, you learn quickly. Stay focused. Stay composed. Keep going. Keep moving. There isn't time to fall apart. There isn't time to sit in your feelings. There isn't time to fully process what just happened. So, you move forward. You compartmentalize. You put those situations into boxes, and that becomes a pattern. Not a decision, a pattern. Your nervous system adapts to that pattern. It learns, stay alert, stay ready, stay focused, stay in control. And that works until it doesn't. Because the body doesn't forget. The mind doesn't just erase things. What doesn't get processed gets stored. It gets stored in your body. And over time, that storage starts to show up. You know, like when your phone is telling you you're almost out of storage? Same. You might notice you can't relax the way that you used to. You feel on edge, even when nothing is happening. You're more irritable. You're more tired, but not in a way that sleep fixes. Or maybe you don't feel much at all. And that one can be confusing because from the outside, you're functioning. You're doing everything that you're supposed to. No one really notices these things, but internally, something feels different. Something feels off. And here's the part I want you to hear clearly. That doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. It means something has been carried for a long time without being set down. When I worked in law enforcement for several years, I saw this up close very often. The guys would come in to me and say, I need to talk to you about that last call. It was heavy. And then almost immediately, I can't take that home. Now, I was 21 years old hearing these stories. I didn't understand back then. They couldn't take them home, not because they didn't love their wives, but because they didn't want to bring that kind of weight, that kind of heaviness into their home, into their relationship. They'd say things like, she'll ask questions I don't have answers to. She'll be more afraid. I can't do that to her. I can't do that to us. So they carried it. Sometimes they would lay it down with me, but they carried it and they kept going. And over time, that adds up and builds up layer upon layer. And maybe no one has ever said this to you directly before, but I'm going to say it right now. You were never meant to carry everything forever, especially not alone. You adapted. You did what you needed to do. You handled what was in front of you. But that doesn't mean you have to stay in that state permanently. Permission to stand down. Standing down does not mean you stop being strong. It doesn't mean you become weak. It doesn't mean that you fall apart, although sometimes we do. It means you allow your system to come out of a constant state of alert. You allow yourself to process what you've been holding. You allow your body to rest in a way that it hasn't in a long time. And I want to say this too, because this matters. A lot of people resist laying it down. They think, if I slow down, I won't be able to get back up. If I open this up, it's going to be too much. It's too messy. If I let my guard down, something bad is going to happen. No one's going to understand this. It doesn't make sense. Well, it does make sense, because staying guarded has worked for you. But what worked in survival mode doesn't always work in everyday life. So I'm not asking you to change everything today. That would be ridiculous, right? It didn't happen in one day. I'm not asking you to open everything up today. I'm just asking you to notice. Notice how you feel. Notice what you've been carrying. Notice where your body doesn't feel at rest. Because awareness is where it begins. We're going to spend the next several weeks here talking about why you can't just turn it off, what your body is trying to tell you, the cost of staying in survival mode, why you don't talk about it, what happens when you start to feel again, and how to stand down without losing yourself. Because this isn't something you rush. This is something that you walk through. Now, if this resonates with you, I have a book called Permission to Stand Down, available on Amazon, and it's been doing really well in this community of folks who struggle to allow themselves permission to let it go. Because this is something that a lot of people are carrying quietly. And if you're listening to this and thinking, I know this is me, but man, I don't know where to start. Like, that's a lot. I don't want to get into that, but I know I need to. I created a permission to stand down workbook to walk you through this more intentionally. It's not overwhelming. It's something you can come back to as you begin to notice what you've been holding and how to start setting some of that down. If you'd like a copy, you can email me at angela@lifebydesignpress.org and just put permission to stand down in the subject line, and I'll send that over to you myself. You don't have to do this all at once. You don't have to get it perfect. And just so you know, no one gets it perfect. You just have to begin to notice and take the first step forward. If this episode resonates with you, I hope that you'll share it with someone else who may need it. Hit the like, follow, share button so other people will see this as well. If you'd like to connect with me, I have a blog that I do Monday through Friday. I'll put that in the show notes. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, professionally, Angela Weiss. On Facebook, Life by Design Press, and on Instagram at Angela Weiss Author. I have this podcast 3 times a week. On Sundays, there's a faith episode. On Tuesdays, a little deeper dive into what we'll be doing for the next few weeks is attachment styles and how people show up with their attachment styles. And then on Thursdays, for a while, we'll be doing permission to stand down, primarily focusing on people who've been through some really, really heavy stuff that's keeping them awake at night, that's making their body hurt, that's causing them to be irritable, that's tearing apart their relationships. Yeah, that stuff you've seen, that stuff you've been through, that stuff you've heard, it's affecting you more than you know. I can tell you from a very personal experience, I didn't realize how much it was affecting me until I did. You don't have to carry this by yourself. You don't have to walk this walk alone. If you feel like you're in a crisis, please text or call 988, the National Suicide Crisis Line, or 911. This podcast is for educational purposes only, and listening to it does not create a provider relationship with me. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here with me, and I hope that the words that I share, the message that I'm sharing with you, is meaningful in a way that helps you have a better life, because that is my goal, to help as many people as I possibly can heal, feel better, move through the things that hurt, the things that they don't understand, make mental health, medical health issues sometimes seem a little bit simpler to understand, and to let you know that you are not alone. I hope again to see you next time. Thank you.